So I want to welcome everybody to another one of my client success calls. My name is Mike Brown. As you know, I'm a spiritual life coach, and what I do is I help people to turn their dreams into reality. And you can find out more about me and what I do by going to my website at www.mikebrowncoaching.com. And you can also get a free video e-course there that will, help you to turn your dream into reality, whatever it might be, whether it's through career, your business, your relationships. You can see different client success stories there as well. But today, I have a very special guest and a client of mine that I'm very excited about interviewing, and she's just going to share her client success story with us today. This young lady's name is Erika Schmidt, and she currently styles hair at the Jim Wayne Salons in Beverly Hills, Hollywood, in Beverly Hills, not Hollywood, but Beverly Hills, California. And for the past 22 years, she's worked in Los Angeles, including she owned her own salon. She's had product development, and she's worked in the entertainment and fashion industry, for the past 22 years. And Erika has styled hair on shoots for Hello Magazine, People Magazine, Spin Magazine, W Magazine, made Company Catalogue, and many television commercials and press junkets. She's also worked on celebrities that some of you may know, from Tom Arnold, Antonio Banderas, Drew Barrymore, Russell Crowe, Dick Clark, T. Leoni, Jason Lewis, Mary Stewart Masterson, Andy McDowell, Jamie Pressly Amber Valleta, and many, many, many others. And Erika has also appeared on E's 101 Fashion Crimes as a style expert. And so, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Hollywood Hot Hair's own, Erika Schmidt. How are you doing, Erika?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. I feel like we have a celebrity in the house with all those celebrities we work with.
I love hearing myself introduced as Hollywood Hot Hair's own. That's great.
Yes, yes. And
coined by you, I might add.
Yeah, that's quite a list of clientele that you've worked with over the years. There, very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's an honor to have you here today. And, I want to thank you so much for, it's been an honor working with you. I think we worked with each other probably for, maybe it's been about a year now, or a little bit under a year that we've been working. Is that what it is, about a year?
I thought it was about a year, maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, thank you for just being, open and willing enough to share, your story here on Client Success Stories. Yeah.
No problem.
And I'll tell you what, what's that?
I said, no problem.
Oh, awesome. And I'll tell you what, let's just get right into it, Erika. And let me just ask you this. Before we started working together, before we started working together in a professional, coaching relationship, can you just kind of give us a picture or an idea where you were at with your business or with your products? Like, where were you at before that?
I had all these ideas in my head, but not really on paper. Well, some of them were on paper, but we're talking about little messy notes here and there, but they weren't organized and on paper, and they definitely weren't in place and in action. They were just all in my head, and I was kind of all over the place. I was not focused. And I was in fear about a lot of things. Fear about speaking publicly, appearing, on camera, fear about rejection, just fear, riddled in fear.
I got it.
And I was okay at looking at the big picture, but I couldn't figure out how to ever get there because I didn't know how to take the baby steps to get there. So, yeah, it was almost like I was crippled.
I got it. I totally got it. And can you tell us a little bit about like where you were at in terms of I know you've been working at the saloon there in Beverly Hills, and you were working there when I came there. Like where you at in terms of where your business was, or your pricing, and where you were at with your products? Because I know you had a product line that you had been working on for several years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like where were you at before we started working together?
Yeah, before we started working together, I wasn't charging nearly enough for my work, like my haircut and color work in the salon. And then my products I had one that was pretty much finished, but the label was really not, the packaging was not very good, and then the other two were just kind of, out in space or in my head. And now do you want to just talk about where I was? We'll talk about where I am now later. So,
and you're doing fine. I mean, and that just kind of gives us an idea where you were at, before we started working together. I think that's pretty clear. And let me ask you this: once we met each other, and you started working with me, and we started coaching together. During that process, what were some of the biggest breakthroughs that you had in your business during the time that we worked together? Things that like jump out, like this was the biggest breakthrough that I had.
Basically, like when we did the video work, practicing on video while taping both of us on video, I realized that actually by doing it, as opposed to just having, I had said to you I want to do these workshops and tutorials and all of these things, but I was deathly afraid of being on camera. And so when we started practicing and shooting it on video, it was really interesting to watch myself. Because what I realized was, I could have looked a little better that day or whatever. My outfit wasn't quite right, and my hair, could have been better, and my makeup and all that. But I actually was much more okay with, my work, watching myself speak and things like that. I got that, it's not nearly as bad as what I had envisioned in my head. So here I was, deathly afraid of doing that, and I made it so much worse in my head than what it really looked on video. There's definitely things I still need to work on, and I'm doing that. But what I got was, there's really nothing to be afraid of. So now that I did, that video, now I know what I need to change to make it better and to feel more comfortable. And it's like I said, that's a baby step, and now I actually feel like I can be on camera and actually feel fairly comfortable.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got that.
That's huge.
That is huge. I just want to acknowledge you for, taking that step and doing that. That's
And I didn't even want to shoot that. You were the one that was no, we got to shoot it. We just got to shoot it on your iPhone. Let's just do it. And then I was oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And you did it. You did it.
And we did it. And I'm so glad we did, because it was literally a huge breakthrough of realizing, well, that's not so bad. What am I so scared of?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was awesome. And, was there any other openings or breakthroughs that you had in your business as well, or?
Yeah, raising my prices. I hadn't raised my prices. Well, I had raised my prices once in 10 years. for my haircuts and my colors. And that's because I had my own salon, and I was my boss, and I'm not very good about asking for the money that I should be asking for. So I just didn't do it. And now that I'm at somebody else's salon working, you know, I closed my salon because I wanted to focus on the products. You know, my boss is like, you know, you gotta raise your prices, and it's still really uncomfortable for me to do. But you know, working with you through that has really helped. I mean, like now, I'm charging what everyone else, the same prices that everybody else in the salon that I'm working around is charging, and they were almost double what I was charging, and now I'm like right along with them, price.
Right. So you basically doubled your rates.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And you know, this is a really interesting thing. I kind of want to talk about this just a little bit more, Erika, because I know when I was coaching you around this, we battled about this a little bit.
Totally. I was like, whoa, no, I can't do that.
And I remember that, you know, having this conversation with you, and then when you first told me your rates, and you told me what the going rates were, I said, yeah, double your rates right now. And you were like, I remember the terror in your eye. You were like, I can't do that.
I'm going to lose all my clients. I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me, if you can, just like, if you could share a little bit more with us about that, because it can really, like, provide something to, you know, people out there who are listening, because a lot of people experience that. Like what you were really dealing with, or what, you know, you said it a little bit there. You thought you were going to lose your clients. But what else?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were going to get really angry. I thought that, you know, I was going to lose them. And interestingly, a few of my clients said to me, yeah, I think you should raise your prices. I think you're too cheap.
Wow.
Like,
that's when you started having a conversation
oh,
with them.
my God. Like, I could have been charging more this whole time. No. Well, I could have, actually.
Yeah.
So I really, I really only had maybe one or two clients that, you know, had kind of negative reactions. But quite honestly, you know, and you said this to me, I'll attract, you know, the right clients. So if that's not comfortable for certain people, then, you know, I just have to be okay with that. And I am now. Now I am.
And let me ask you this, Erika, because I really want to kind of get to the heart of what, you know, made the difference in us working together. Because, you know, for many years, maybe you thought about raising your, you know, and this is years, really. This is, I want everybody to kind of know, like, for years, your rates were kind of pretty much the same.
Yes. 10.
Many years, like for like good 10, 15 years. And, you know, so you had like kind of like the 90s rates. And,
totally.
And I want people to get present to, like, what was it? Because I know you thought about it before, or maybe you know, thinking maybe I should raise my rates, or you've seen that everybody else's rates and you've seen what they were, so I know it crossed your mind. But what made the difference in, like, us working together and me coaching you that actually had you go to your clients and say, hey, and by the way, I really want to acknowledge you for that, because I know what it took for you to do that, and I know what you were up against, and you did it.
I want to acknowledge you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging me for that. And you know, if you could share with us what made the difference that had you actually do it.
It was the coaching, the sort of rehearsal that we did, where I had you in the chair, and I just said to you the way I was going to, you know, say it to my clients, what I was doing, like that I would be raising my prices, and that, you know, that I could refer them to somebody else if they weren't comfortable with that. And, you know, it was a very, like, loving kind of non-reactive method, which I never really knew or thought to do that, you know, like just not letting their negative reaction to the conversation affect me, you know.
Yeah, I think
so
I remember
that was part of it. Just practicing that worked, you know, so that when I actually said it to people, I had sort of even just the right choice of words, you know. I think if I would have done it just cold turkey on my clients, I don't think I would have. I think I would have reacted probably not great. Like I would have reacted badly. So just practicing the conversation with you was really helpful.
Right. Okay, I got it. Well, you know, again, I want to acknowledge you for doing that, and you know, another thing, if you're okay, if I share this with everybody, one of the things that came up while we were doing this, and we were practicing these conversations, is that Erika would keep saying, you know, I'm doing this because I deserve it.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to you,
don't say that.
Don't say you deserve. Like, and I want to share this with everybody else because I know I've been through this myself, and you know, there's probably many people out there listening. But there's something about like when you say that, you know, when you say to somebody that you deserve it,
you don't
it's
deserve
almost like
it.
saying,
You are it.
You are it. You don't deserve it. You are it. That's a little statement I gave for Erika to say when she slips up and actually says, I deserve it. Say, no, wait a minute, I don't deserve it. I am it.
It worked.
So it did. So very cool.
I slipped the other day and I still said it, but I caught myself.
Yeah. And you said, no, I don't deserve it. I am it. Awesome. And so was there any other breakthroughs that we had around, you know, anything in your business, whether it was your products or
the way you calculated the money, like the potential money that I could be earning, where you broke it down by how many hours I work and then what I charge per hour, and you added it up for the whole month. I didn't have very high goals of what I wanted to make monthly because I didn't realize that the potential to make twice what I was thinking in my head was even there. And I don't know why I've never thought about calculating it that way. I don't know. So by you doing that, it made me realize that it is a reachable goal to make, you know, the double what I thought I could make. Like that's not out of reach. It's actually totally doable, and I would have never seen that had we not added it up. You know. Had you not added it up.
And by the way, I just so I can make that clear to everybody, basically, you know, after we did that, and I know you just, it was hard for you to believe this, but Erika's pretty much, she's doubled her rate and actually cutting her time in half. So she's actually making more money working less. Which I know, when I said that to you, you were like, I remember that look on your face. You were just like,
I probably laughed. I probably was like, oh, yeah, right.
You're like, and you know, and I want to say something about that because I think we all kind of have that concept of, you know, we have this idea that to make more money we have to work harder and spend more time. It's kind of like a belief system, and it's just not the case. And you know, again, I want to acknowledge you for that because it's just so like freeing for me to see you go through that, you know, that transformation, and I can just see how much.
And then that goes into getting my products done. Like I actually have a completely finished product and 2 prototypes on the way.
Nice.
And that means that I am able to start having meetings with potential investors and or potential distributors of my product, which I was never able to get to that point before because I I never had the time to be able to focus.
Mhm. Mhm. So so you basically ended up creating these other products, and why don't? Because I think these products are really awesome that you created. Maybe you could, if you want, you can briefly tell us like what the products are that you developed and you're,
I can't really get too specific, unfortunately, because they are pretty much inventions, and they're they don't exist in our business yet. So I can't really divulge too much. But basically, what they are though is they are tools that hairstylists use on their clients while they're servicing their clients, and it makes the client much more comfortable, and it saves time, and it makes the hairstylist's job easier. It saves time for everybody, the client and the stylist, and it makes the stylist's job easier. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll say this much. At the end of this call, Erika's going to give us. You'll give us contact information where we could contact you. So I know that you're in the process of, looking for investors. So maybe somebody listening to this call wants to invest, and you can give them contact information.
Great.
They can contact you directly if you want to do that at the end.
Great.
And okay, awesome. So we got that part. Was there any other openings or breakthroughs around your business, maybe that we missed, or did we cover it all? Or
let me think. There's been so many, really. Oh yes, publicly speaking. I mean.
Oh, public speaking, yes.
Yeah, because of just being, on video, I realized, well, it's not that bad, and so, I joined Toastmasters, and I'm doing some work with Toastmasters, and I actually got up in front of 100 people at a workshop and spoke.
Nice.
In front of 100 people, and of course I turned bright red, and I was shaking, and I was, it was very, I don't know, it wasn't totally comfortable, but I basically realized by learning how to do these baby steps through working with you instead of just, feeling overwhelmed all the time, I get that I don't have to speak perfectly, it's practice, practicing. And so I actually raised my hand and chose to get up in front of 100 people at this conference, which I would have never done before.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I want to acknowledge for that. I know, that takes something to do that. So. Great. And, another thing that's coming up for me, and I'm not sure if you can mention this person, but I know that you had recently got another big celebrity client, but I don't know where that. Can you mention that person's name, or is that confidential?
I can't.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. We'll keep that a secret then.
I believe he's a very private person, and I like to be discreet when it comes to those things.
Oh, I got it. But they might get the idea from the list that we shared at the beginning, but I wasn't sure
how big they may be.
Right,
yes.
Right, exactly. But we won't.
Right
we'll keep everybody on pins and needles, wondering who it is.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, so let me ask you this then, Erika. I think that's pretty much the breakthroughs that we had while we were working together, and if you can just let us know, like, and maybe you shared some of this already, but like, where are you at now? Like, now that we've been working together a year, where are you at?
Well, actually, I will make one more point about breakthroughs. I think because of learning how to do the baby steps and kind of just learning how to deal with my fear in general, I think the reason that the client that you just spoke about, the big celebrity client that I'm doing now, the new one, I think he's staying with me because he likes my work, but he also likes the fact that I'm actually able to express. I need to put this the right way. In the past, when I've worked with celebrities, I would get sometimes a little bit shy or intimidated, but now I'm not letting that. I'm not letting those feelings control me. Like I just. He told me how he wanted his hair, and he explained it, and then I said to him, well, actually, if you do this and this and this, it would be better for this and this and this reason. And, when you work with celebrities, it's kind of difficult in certain ways because a lot of them are used to being around a lot of yes people. They don't, they hire yes people to be around them, and they, that's the world that they live in. And I sort of didn't just yes him, and I explained, why this and this would be better. And so then he actually said to me, he goes, you know what, do whatever you want. I trust you. And it was really nice. It was like, wow, cool. Wow. Like, so I could keep my artistic integrity and actually give him a better service because I wasn't feeling intimidated, which is kind of what I used to be more like when I would work with people that were, I don't know if you want to say powerful, but kind of, I guess they're powerful because, they're
famous people, well-known.
Yeah, I mean, they're sort of like the ones in control of a lot of those types of situations,
Okay.
Especially when it comes to vanity, their vanity.
Sure.
Being on camera and all of that stuff, so.
Sure.
But I can remember back to many situations in my past where I wish I would have said those things to celebrities because I feel like that just would have been so much better for me in the long run, with my career. So, I mean, not that, my career's fine, but it just would have been much more freedom for me as an artist.
Right. Like you just take the risk and say, hey, this is what it is. I do this, and I'm telling you that this will work for you.
Yeah, this would be better, or here's why this isn't good.
I got it. So it sounds like you had like a breakthrough in just your own confidence and in your own expertise, and just saying. Now, interestingly enough, it's like that came after, bringing your rates up to par. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and then back to the question you asked. So where are you now? So now basically I feel like I'm actually doing all of the things that were just at one time ideas in my head, and then I'm making more money per hour as well, which is great. Those are two huge accomplishments.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you obviously have these products, which I know you can't talk about, but they're awesome as well because I know what they are. And so great work.
Thank you.
Great work, Erika.
Great work, Michael.
And by the way, Erika does my hair as well, but I'm not that. I'm not the famous person that she's talking about.
Not yet.
So we can reveal that she does my hair, and she does a great job. By the way, I just turn it over to her as well, and I say, do whatever you want, and it all
you do actually. Well. You're really good about that. It's great. It's great doing. It's fun to do your hair, and it's that's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for doing that, and. So yeah, I think that that's pretty much it. Thank you so much again for coming on this call. And
you're welcome.
Before we get off the phone, oh yes, absolutely, you're welcome. It's been an honor and a pleasure, working with you and helping to bring your dreams and your desires into reality. And before we go, did you want to leave your contact information in terms of where you work? I don't know, whatever you want to leave, whether it's your phone number or email or the address of the place you work.
I work at Jim Wayne Salon in Beverly Hills, and the phone number there is 310-278-1191. That's the front desk reception phone number, and you can set up appointments there.
Okay, and just so that they get your full name?
Erika Schmidt.
Erika Schmidt, yeah. So you can book your appointments there in Beverly Hills. and hang out with all the celebrities and Erika. And Erika, well, what about do you want to say anything about your? I know that you have this product you're getting ready to launch, and I think that you have a couple investors there, but you're looking for some more potential investors. Did you want to?
I'm actually looking for marketing funds. We're shooting a commercial, actually 2 commercials, this late summer, early fall in New York. And, we have the money for that, but the placement of the commercials is, fairly expensive, so we're looking for some venture capitalists there. And also one of the products that I have a prototype for is a little bit expensive in the manufacturing side of that, so we'll put some of that money into that as well. Whereas there's 2 products that are pretty much done. I mean, one's done and one's almost done, and it's not that expensive to manufacture.
Okay. So if investors call you, obviously you'll tell them about the product, though. You'll let them know what it is.
Yes, after they sign the non-compete trade secret agreement.
Okay. Well, there you go. It sounds like you're getting pretty good at this business thing here.
I'm getting there.
Do you want to? Would they contact you through the salon number, or is there another place?
Or they
email?
They can call my company line, which is Cutting Edge Salon Products, and the phone number is 310-867-4247, and that's 867-HAIR.
Oh, nice, 867-HAIR, okay. Very good. So you can contact her there if you want to become a multi-millionaire with Erika, then you can do that.
Right.
All right, awesome. Well, Erika, again, it's been a pleasure, having you here on the call, and it's fun working with you. And I look forward to continue working with you and helping you to make more of your dreams come forward into reality.
Right back at you.
All right.